Hi everyone, this is Matt Daniels and welcome to my channel if you are here for the first time, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Those who are here and have not subscribed, please make sure that you do subscribe and like. Also leave your comment and tell me how you feel about this whole show that we are going to talk about today, which is Life with Khumalo. Now, the first thing that I want us to take note of is how Khumalo is an amazing woman. Like, she's an amazing woman and she's really an excellent mother. I feel like most of the time, or a lot of times, we spend focusing on things that we don't have and failing to appreciate the things that we actually do have. It's very hard raising a child on your own, but if you have a mother, I feel like that's a very important thing that she needs to appreciate more. She needs to appreciate her mother more. I would die to have someone who would watch over my kids so that when I'm not around, I know that they're safe. So in as much as she might not have a dad, she might not have a husband and whatnot, she has a very amazing mother that I feel like she needs to pay a little bit more attention to, because she's going to start to realize and appreciate her mother more when her mother is gone, and it's going to be too late. So I feel like she needs to put a little bit more effort in terms of understanding her mother. When you've lived with someone for a very long time, you must know them, know what makes them tick, and handle them with care, especially if someone is sensitive, because the last thing she would want is her mother to have a heart attack because of something that she said or because of something that they did, because then you're going to feel guilty for the rest of your life. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing that shocked me in this show was how much how the son was suspended from school. The son was suspended from school because the son stole a hat from one of the students in the school. So I did not understand, like, okay, maybe it's because I'm a teacher and I'm staying in a village, but then I feel like it's just not reason enough to chase away a child from the school, especially in the middle of the year when a child can hardly get into another school. Maybe Kidlo Jalina Mojozi, I don't know. That's how it works, but I feel like boys will be boys, and they're going to make mistakes. And Mina, as a teacher, as a parent in the school, I have to find a way to deal with such a situation. And if I cannot deal with such situation as a parent in the school environment, that is when I call the parent to come and help me solve this problem. I don't feel like a child stealing a hat from another child is something that, as a teacher, I cannot resolve in the school, and I feel like that, if I don't do my job as a parent in that kind of an environment, that's when we fail our kids. It's when I'm a teacher, I'm not just a teacher, I'm a parent in the school, and I have to resolve the problems that are within the school, and those are petty things. Boys will be boys. Boys play, boys make mistakes, they tease each other. We don't give children warnings, we punish children. Maybe it's because I'm teaching at a public school. A public school, you can kill a child. You can kill a child can kill another child in the school environment and then come back to school next week. A child can kill a teacher and still be accepted into the school. That's the kind of environment that we are working with. Maybe that is why I'm unable to relate at a child that is being kicked out of a school. I've had instances where a child could swear at a teacher, like tell a teacher all of the things that you can possibly think of that are an insult, and the teacher has to stand up in front of the child the next day to teach that child, and then the system expects such a teacher to be productive. But then those are things that we deal with. You have to find a way to deal with them. The most amazing one was when one child was suspended for 2 weeks from the school, and then after 2 weeks they came back. The parents brought the child into the school. The moment they dropped him in the school, and they called him into the meeting, so to accept him formally with the parent there, they went into the class. The child was not in the class, and then they were like, so those are things that we actually face in the school environment. And I feel like, private school or not private school, we need to do more in order to help our children, and we can't just throw them out of the system whenever they make a little mistake. We have to find a way to deal with it. But then again, I don't know what happened. Apparently the child was given a warning before, but like I said, I don't believe that kids should be given warnings. Warnings are for work, for us at work. Kids should be punished. We should sit down as a parent and as the teacher and find a way to punish kids. Kids need time out, they need detention, they need whatever, clean the class, whatever you as a school have assigned as punishment, not warnings. Those are for us. Even you can't even give adults warnings. If you warn them, they still adults, grown women and men. But okay. Now the next thing that I also want to talk about, it's the disagreement between her and Zandi. One thing you need to understand is that once a girl once a girl falls in love with a man, that's a very, very difficult thing. You are supposed to just let them be and give them space. And when the guy has worked her enough, she's going to come back, because there's very little that you can do, to salvage such a situation. So one thing that you have to do is let that person know that you love them and you're always there for them, so that if ever they are abused, they are not afraid to come and tell you that they are abused because of what is happening between you and the man. So no matter what happens, even though you cannot separate them, you cannot advise such a person who is under the spell of love. So all you have to do is just give them space, but ensure that you let them know that you love them, so that if ever something happens, they must not be ashamed or afraid to come and inform you as their sister. Right, so that obviously, even when you fight the guy, you have to handle it with care if you want to salvage the relationship with your siblings. But then there are those people who don't really care much about family. You wrong me, I cut you off. Nah, personally, I'm not the cut off person. I've had instances where I fought with my siblings, with my brothers, and with my sisters, and it was really intense. We spent days, we spent a week without talking to each other, but blood is blood, and I feel like those are the only people who are bound in my life to always be there no matter what. So I will always do everything in my power to make sure that okay, even if I don't try, they know that I'll sisonke, like, yeah, you ain't going nowhere, you're going to stay here. So yes, that is the second thing. She should give her space, just let her be Nyana. When the man has cooked her, she will come back, because obviously this man is kind of like controlling her and trying to turn her against the family, because he wants to manipulate and control the situation. He looks like an abuser for me without me meeting him, but he looks like he's abusive, and that's why I'm saying that Kelly just needs to distance herself, but then not distance herself enough to not be able to be there when her sister needs her, because that time, I swear, it's going to come. Now, the third thing is going to be a touchy topic, because I know that, considering what is happening right now in our country and whatnot. So it's a case of spirituality, right? In terms of her being a Sangoma and believing in God, in Christ, those are two different things. Firstly, there's no problem with acknowledging your ancestors. A lot of people love to relate. In the Bible, they do actually mention your Abraham, Isaac, and whatnot. So now the difference is, when you pray and you mention those people, you're not praying or addressing them directly. You are saying, God that has worked in Abraham's life, I know that you work in mine. God that, when I love mentioning my mother as well. God who was there for my mother, I know that you will be there for me as well. You saw her through, and I know that you're going to see me as well. But then when I go to the extent of erecting an altar inside of my house, and when I study my Bible, and when I start to look at a lot of stories, I've seen people do a lot of different things, a lot of crazy things, a lot of outrageous things. But then the moment people start to turn away from God and seek other gods, that is when God said, okay, I see you've got this. I see you have this under control. So I'm going to just give you space. When you want me, you will call me. When you want me, you will come to me. God does not mix. You cannot mix God with things. That is why Joshua says, choose for yourself whom you want to serve, but as for me and my family, we shall serve the Lord. So that is something that you cannot serve other gods and a God at the same time. You are going to have to choose which one you want. If you want to serve God, it's good. If you want to serve ancestors, it's good. If you want to serve Baal, it's good. If you want to be whatever you want to choose, it's up to you. It's good. You want to serve a cow, you want to serve a tree, you want to pray to an ant, you want to pray to animals, it's up to you. But choose. You cannot have your cake and eat it as well. You're right. Now that is something that I want to also, that I've noticed, that we must not confuse the two. We must not confuse the two. If you wanna, twasa and be a sangoma, that is your choice, and you have a right to do so without being judged. And of course, I'm not judging, but I'm clearly stating from a Christian point of view that you are going to have to choose what is it that you want. So now the next thing that I'm going to talk about, it's a very touchy subject, which I feel like it's something that a lot of women actually go through, something that a lot of women can actually relate to, which is JubJub. And I'm going to speak about JubJub not as the presenter of Cheaters or Uyajola99 that we love so much, but I'm going to speak about him as a father. And now Kelly Khumalo is saying something that is different from what everybody knows. Everybody, I'm sure they read an article somewhere that says that JubJub tried to reach out to Kelly Khumalo, but now Kelly Khumalo is saying JubJub has never reached out. I need you to understand that there are two instances in a woman's life where a woman is hurt so much that she wants nothing to do with a man. And you know, most of the time when the men come back into their life and they want to be part of the child's life, they have no regard for the woman and what she's actually gone through. Some women can be angry for 5 years, 10 years, and all they want is just a I'm sorry, I was wrong, you know. And I'm sorry and I was wrong can really change a lot of things in your relationship. You know, that's what a lot of women want. I'm sorry, I was wrong, you know. And that's something. But then there are instances where you are never going to get that I'm sorry and you're wrong, and you have to find healing within yourself. You know, people might not always find you the healing that you want. Sometimes you're going to have to go on a journey and you are going to have to heal yourself. Sometimes you're going to have to fill that void. Sometimes you are going to have to give yourself that sorry that you might never get for a man, because how you cannot afford to waste your life away trying to hold on to pain from another person because they wronged you. You're going to have to find a way to get over it. You're going to have to find, it's not hard, it's not easy, it's one of the most difficult thing, you know, to try and you know, heal yourself when the person who's hurt you actually is constantly in your face. You know, it's one of the most hardest things, and I know that some people who've never gone through this might not understand, but I know it's very hard. Now, here is a JubJub saying that he tried to reach out to Kelly Khumalo, right? How do you reach out? What is reach out? Hi Kelly, how are you doing? Are you good? Okay, that's amazing. Can I see my son? Do you call that reaching out? You've been in prison for 9 or 10 years, and then when you come out, you call me, you want to see your son, and you call that reaching. That's not reaching out. You're gonna have to do better than that. You are going to have to, that is not reaching out. It is definitely not reach out. I don't consider that. How many times did you call? First of all, how many lawyers have you contacted so that we have a meeting so that I can see my? Did you contact your elders to come and into my house? I just want to understand, and I want someone to clarify to me what is the concept of reaching out, because hi, can I see my? That's not reaching out. You know, you're gonna have to do better than that. You know, and I feel like now with this whole thing, her saying that he's allowed, he should jump at that opportunity to say, okay, let's sit down and see how we are going to work together to raise this child. You know, so that is my opinions, of course, and I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think reaching out, calling with just a phone call is enough? Because personally, I don't think that's enough. I feel like if you really want to be part of your child's life, then you're going to be willing to do everything in your power to make sure that that happens, right? So what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? I want you to tell me what you think in the comment section, and I will try and respond. If I do not respond, I have a problematic phone that just makes things hard for me to just work around it, but I will try my best to make sure that I respond to each and every single comment. So thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for the subscriptions, and thank you for the likes and the comments, and I love you guys. Bye.